I think that it was the emphasis on interconnection, relationships of interconnection with the entire natural world and also with one another, as opposed to a dominance-based worldview, which I really think is at the heart of so many of our crises, whether it's the ecological crises or poverty or treatment of immigrants. It's really the extractivist mindset, the idea that we can just take without consequence from the earth, from bodies, from labor, and then discard when we're done. That throwaway culture that is also named in the encyclical. So I think that that framing of moving from dominance to interdependence, interrelation, and naming that throwaway culture and the move to a caring-based culture, caring for the planet and also caring for one another, is really at the heart of the shift that we need to make. So I think the most important thing that we need to be doing is build a bigger, stronger, more passionate movement. So, I think with the reason why we have lost up until now is because the forces that we are up against that don't want action, that want to protect business as usual, are tremendously motivated. They're motivated by trillions of dollars of wealth that is on the line. I mean, we need to keep about 3/4 of the known fossil fuel reserves in the ground. That's many trillions of dollars. So obviously, the fossil fuel companies, the banks that finance them, are going to fight like hell to protect those future profits, to protect their business model, essentially. And I think the problem with climate action is that it's always tended to seem remote, almost like a luxury that you can care about if you don't have anything really more urgent to care about. And so the task is to articulate a vision for a post-carbon economy that is better than the economy we have right now for the vast majority of people on Earth, that will tangibly improve lives. That means fighting for more and better jobs, jobs which pay a living wage and don't require you to work all the time, because we now have this system where many people don't have enough work to live, and many people work so hard they don't have time to live. So we need to restore balance there. We need a food system that nourishes us at every level. And that it also implies land reform. And these are things that are going to tangibly benefit people's lives. It also means fighting, in urban contexts for cheap or even free public transit, because obviously moving away from a culture based on automobiles is central to tackling emissions linked to transportation. We've made some progress on emissions linked to electricity, but we haven't made much progress on emissions linked to transportation, which is a huge part of our emissions. If you improve public transit, if you make it more affordable, the people who use public transit are the poor, overwhelmingly the working class, immigrants. So these are the types of climate policies that people are going to fight for, because it's not some far off thing, and it's also not saying, well, you have to sacrifice. Certainly some people have to sacrifice, but the majority of people, if we introduce these policies, are going to see a tangible improvement in their quality of life. That doesn't necessarily mean they get more stuff, but this is something else that speaks to the encyclical. What really improves our lives is our relationships, our time in nature, our time with one another, those intangibles that we have so little time for. So I think that is how we win, asking ourselves this core question again and again: what will people fight for? Because the other side is fighting really hard.